Kellyanne, one other question. Your former coworker, John Kelly, said he believes John Bolton. What do you make of John Kelly's statements what do you make of John Kelly's statement saying that he believes John Bolton?
Well, I respect General Kelly enormously and like him personally. I don't know what he's referring to, so I can't answer it. In other words, that's just I believe John Bolton. I've not seen a manuscript, and I will tell you that
President Trump directly tied the aid to Ukraine.
He didn't say that.
Investigations. That's what John Bolton said. He said that he believes that.
Did John Bolton say that?
Yes,
or are we talking about an unpublished manuscript? I'm sorry, where did John Bolton say that?
John Bolton said he believes.
Where?
John Kelly says he believes John Bolton. Are you now saying that?
Where did John Bolton say that?
He said that in front of a number of people. It's pretty clear
No. Where did Ambassador John Bolton say that?
Kelly is saying that if John Bolton said that President Trump directly
where did Ambassador John Bolton say that this week?
It was in front of cameras. Everybody saw it.
John Bolton or John Kelly?
John Kelly said that in front of cameras.
Where did Ambassador John Bolton say this week?
Are you saying that John Kelly did not understand what he was saying when he said, I believe John Bolton?
I'm not saying that, but you're not answering my question. I can't answer your question unless I understand it.
But it's a very clear question.
It's not clear at all because I'm asking you.
John Bolton said in his book that.
Is that what you're talking about, an unpublished manuscript? Are you talking about a leak of an unpublished manuscript as reported by the New York Times?
John Kelly was talking about that manuscript.
No, I'm asking you what he's referring to.
John Kelly was talking about that as well.
Okay, because I don't know that to be true, and neither do you. In other words, I don't know what John Kelly was referring to, and I'm asking you, what exactly did Ambassador John Bolton say this week in advance of General Kelly's comments? What did he say? I didn't see him say anything. I hear about unpublished manuscripts that I frankly haven't seen, and I bet you haven't either.
Well, what do you make of John Kelly?
You want me to answer a hypothetical wrapped up with a conundrum?
Well, yes. Why don't you just answer? What do you make of John Kelly commenting that if the manuscript is true, that he believes John Bolton?
If the manuscript is true.
Yeah, what do you make of John Kelly making that statement?
You want me to answer hypotheticals?
No, it's not hypothetical. John Kelly commented and said, I believe John Bolton. What do you make of John Kelly saying those words?
I don't make anything of it.
You don't make anything of it?
No, but I will tell you, particularly by NBC and MSNBC, you guys couldn't stop.
I work at PBS News.
I know where you work. Day after day, you appear there plenty, and I think you're paid by them, but day after day after day, day after day after day. You know what you talked about with John Kelly? That he was on his way out. He was going to be the next one to be fired. He was on his way out. He started doing that. There's first a Politico article in October of 2017, about 6 weeks after he took the job. That person has moved on to a different outlet now, but it was still a ridiculous article. So for a year and a half while he was on the job, the main story about General Kelly was that he was going to be on his way out. Now, you want me to answer a question. I haven't talked to General Kelly about this or Ambassador Bolton about this. And I'm not going to comment, particularly from the podium in the press briefing room, on a leaked, unpublished manuscript that I haven't seen. I hope it doesn't include classified information. And I know there's always this rush to imbue credibility on whomever you think is against the president at that moment. If it's not Michael Cohen, it's Michael Avenatti. If it's not them, it's Lev Parnas, who couldn't even get into the Senate chamber yesterday because he's wearing a tracking device because he's been charged with crimes. So that's not a hypothetical.
But my question was about
you're asking
what do you
me
make of
to
John
answer
Kelly's comments?
Well, I already told you what I think of General Kelly.
You don't make anything
I respect him
of
and
that.
I like him. And you're asking me to comment on, he said, I believe John Bolton. I don't know what he is referring to when he says that, and neither do you.
Kellyanne, on the President's State of the Union address next week, President.
Question about just this question now. What's the White House responded to Mr. Bolton's attorney's urgent request that you at least review the chapter on Ukraine so that he can use it if he is called as soon as next week to give evidence?
I'll tell you what the President of the United States is doing. In addition to eliminating from the face of the earth dangerous terrorists, completing 2 trade deals, continuing to reshape the federal judiciary. We're close to 200 judges, and we'll get there soon enough. Keeping this unbelievable economy going, and that's why his approval rating is at its highest point ever in his presidency, according to some polls, including by your outlets, if not reported by your outlets. He is helping to bring the overdose death rate down and to improve the life expectancy. He's focused on those types of things. He will go to Michigan today I believe, an auto manufacturing plant, and then to Des Moines, Iowa. That's what he's doing. The idea that we should stop what we're doing to review somebody's book strikes me as not a big priority, in my view, for the president. And so,
He could be a key witness in the trial if witnesses are called next week.
You would hope so, wouldn't you? But anyway, if hypotheticals, I'm not answering them for you. Here's what I know to be real. 68,000 Americans died last year of a drug overdose. That's why we're here, and I'm always happy to answer all of your questions, as you full well know. But I gotta stick to reality and not hypotheticals, and frankly, wishful thinking.
Kellyanne, a question on that,
votes, Kellyanne,
please.
to prevent witnesses? Are you confident you have the votes, Kellyanne?
Admiral, can I ask you a question on a different health topic? The Pentagon announced this week that the number of victims, U.S. service members with traumatic brain injuries went up to 50 from 34, from a dozen from before that. The president said recently that he considers that to be not very serious injuries. You, as a health professional, do you agree with that assessment?
I really can't comment. I do not know any of the details of the traumatic brain injuries on the DoD side. We know that traumatic brain injury can be from mild to very serious. It really depends, and I just don't know what the DoD injuries are. I have not seen those.
Last question?
Yeah, on the President's State of the Union address next week, obviously, this is a big issue for you, the issue of opioid abuse, opioid addiction. It's a priority for the President. Will he make this a part of the State of the Union address next week?
He will, and I'd have to go back and check for sure, but I think that'll make